what happens when an unstoppable force Lamar Jackson meets an immovable object Clemson's line. It's a classic paradox. It's also classically butchered. Science states those two things can't simultaneously exist. In the end, one of the two forces is less powerful than initially thought. That's what we'll find out this weekend, when Clemson and Louisville clash in Kentucky. There isn't a more dominant defensive unit in the country than Clemson's defensive line. Just ask Auburn. Last week, Clemson totaled 11 sacks and 14 tackles for losses. It hounded Jarrett Stidham and Auburn's rushing attack. Clemson's defensive line is so good that Austin Bryant, a player who had 4 sacks last week, is likely considering the fourth best NFL prospect among the starting unit behind Dexter Lawrence, number 2 in 2016's 247 Sports composite, Christian Wilkins, number 25 in 2015, and Clelin Ferrell, number 116. Clemson's defense ranked in the top 3 in sacks the past 2 seasons, and its numbers are no less video game-like early this year. In Week 1, Kent State managed only a single passing yard. In Week 2, Auburn mustered 38 rushing yards. That's a Tigers unit that finished 6th nationally a year ago in rushing yards per game. But Clemson, meet your statistical match. Here comes Lamar Jackson. Jackson had 457 total yards of offense and 3 TDs in last season's loss. Photo Getty. The reigning Heisman Trophy winner is on another Elias tier. In fact, he looks better than a year ago. In each of Louisville's first 2 games this season, both against Power 5 opponents, Jackson's thrown for 300 yards and rushed for 100. He's accounted for 8 total touchdowns, which would rank Jackson 59th nationally if he was his own FBS team. Jackson is more accurate too, completing 64.7% of his passes a year after a 56.2% completion rate. People may have overlooked Jackson entering 2017, but he's doing exactly what a Heisman winner must do to impress the voters again, wow them. Of course, Clemson's defense is far more than its monstrous front 4. A guy like Lawrence in the middle eats up blockers, which allows the Tigers linebackers to flow quickly downhill and be aggressive both against the run and the pass. Clemson can capably rush the passer with 4 down linemen, meaning the back 7 can be more flexible in its pass coverage. Defensive coordinator Brent Venables is also among the best in the country at what he does. Clemson is very good up front, Louisville head coach Bobby Petrino said during his press conference this week. They've got 2 big, physical defensive tackles, 2 really good guys on the edge. We played against 2 of their 3 linebackers last year that are really fast and slippery. They slip blocks and make tackles, and they keep them free. They run very fast to the ball. It's a good package. As it happens, Louisville's attack is also much more than Jackson. Senior running back Malik Williams is averaging 11.5 yards per carry. Junior wide receiver Jalen Smith, 17 catches, 300 yards, has emerged as a true number 1 threat. More importantly, the Cardinal offensive line is much improved. A year after Louisville allowed more sack yardage than anyone in the country, Louisville surrendered only 2 sacks through the first 2 games. Louisville is an outstanding team, Clemson head coach Dabo Swinney said during his weekly press conference. Offensively, they're crazy good. It's video numbers. It's unbelievable. They're averaging 614 yards per game and 7.6 yards per play. That's incredible. Despite each achieving a remarkable level of greatness, neither Jackson nor Clemson's defense are totally perfect. Jackson was limited to 20 of 43 passing and just 33 yards rushing on 25 carries in a 36-10 loss to Houston last season. The Cougars totaled 11 sacks in that game. Jackson is fantastic, but he's also containable if Clemson's line can cause havoc. Then again, Clemson's defensive line had little luck corralling Jackson last year. The Tigers won, but Jackson threw for 295 yards, rushed for 162 more, and had 3 total touchdowns in what was one of the best games of the 2016 season. This is strength on strength, the Ole unstoppable force crashing into an immovable object. Who wins the answer to that question will underscore the final result